Well, hello, and welcome to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the audio edition. This is the edition for the people who like to multitask and who want to improve their imagination, which is the single most important tool that you have to help yourself manifest. Okay, so what we do is take a look at a variety of the energies around you, give you an opportunity to opt in or opt out. It's always your choice. But there are some important lessons and important things here. And through this whole session, where you really enhance and power up your imagination, you can come up with all sorts of things that you can do to enhance your manifesting ability and your life as well, just in a general practice. So what you got here is this one screen. That's all you're going to see the whole time. Bottom row, upper row, that's it. We'll work through them. We'll focus on the key idea in this manifesting. And then you're free to get up, walk away from the screen as long as you're listening. That's the key. As long as you're listening, you're plugged into your imagination, which means you're plugged into your manifesting tool. And that's what the whole thing is about. It's all about you. That's what makes this tarot read just a little bit different. It's not your usual tarot read. It's not for the weak. Let's put it that way. Alrighty, so let's get to it. Here you see in front of you the screen. Front row, middle, we got the never-ending story. Number up in the right side of the card is 37. 3 and 7 is 1. That means this is the beginning. Even though it says never-ending story, there is a newness to what's going on today, a newness to this energy. It's the same but not the same. And that's why I have called this the cosmic recycle. Because never-ending story could mean that you're stuck in a rut. And, let's be perfectly honest, many of us are. Okay, you get up, have breakfast, go to work, lunch, more work, home for dinner, watch a little TV, boom, in bed, and you repeat the whole cycle day in, day out. For most of us, that's pretty much the way it is. And especially given the tenor of the times, the economy, what's going on around the world, and largely the United States is all responsible for all of it, good and bad. So there is a sameness from day to day that can really seep in and take over to the point where you're almost robotic. But looking at this idea of never-ending story, I came up with the idea that is similar but not the same, and the difference is significant. The cosmic recycle. You're recycling something in your life, in your spirit. And the concept of recycling is taking something and reusing, but in a purposeful way. Not just the robotic kind of get up, go to work, come home, get up, go to work, go home thing. That's mindless. What we're talking about here is mindful. Cosmic recycling. Taking something from your life in the past and giving it new purpose. Giving it new meaning. Giving it new value. Because over time, that thought, idea, value, whatever, has shown that it is perfectly usable, functional, and beneficial. Something that you forgot about. Something that you kind of put off because you fall into this recycled kind of thing of living your life day to day to day, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to work, come home, that you just kind of get numb. This cosmic recycling says you have attuned yourself, for whatever reason, to a thought or feeling, a pattern, whatever, from the past that you think is going to benefit you now. It's going to get you out of the rut. So keep the idea of the cosmic recycling. You could say never-ending story, but the never-ending story is robotic. Cosmic recycling is active. It's progressive. It's conscious. And that's really the key here. So let's begin. Bottom row all the way to the left, Queen of Swords. The kings are the ones who make the proclamations, but it's the queens who get the job done. And Queen of Swords is all about what you think. The Queen of Swords is perceptive, clever, straight talking, very realistic. And frankly, especially after the last 3 years, people are tending to be more and more realistic on a day-to-day basis. I'm even noticing they're beginning to catch on that, ooh, wow, we've been scammed. Really? Ooh, wow, we've been scammed all my life. Wow, really? The sense that we have been played, the sense that we have been part of a never-ending story, a one way we would never win, we're becoming aware. That's what the Queen of Swords is all about. Your thinking has been stimulated, and you are looking for truth. You are looking for straight talking, straight thinking. Very, very important. Next card over, Seven of Wands. Perfect. The Seven of Wands is defiance. It's taking a stand. It's taking the offensive. The Wands are joy, enthusiasm, positivity. You're plugged into your life. That's what's been missing. And that's why the idea of the never-ending cycle, although I didn't think about it or know about it at the time because I didn't know what the cards were going to be, fits so perfectly well. Seven of Wands and the Queen of Swords, those two energies together say, no, consciously I want to choose a life that is more enjoyable for me, that is more purposeful for me, that I feel more plugged in. I don't want the same old story. That was given to me. I accepted it without thinking. I'm now thinking. And what you're thinking is you have to make up your own deal. The Hierophant. The Hierophant is called the Pope of the Tarot. But what the Hierophant energy is all about is organizations, belief systems, group identification. Boy, there's a lot of that going on, right? Or they're trying to sell different identities. Black is white, hot is cold, vice versa. I mean, it's just they're just jumbling everything up as they're looking, I think, to confuse. And in so doing, that is getting people's attention. They're taking a look at their organizations. They're taking a look at their belief systems. They're taking a look at their group identification, saying, wait a minute, I don't want to be part of that group. Or I want to be part of this group. It's a real shifting. But what's dealing is that you are cosmic recycling. You are finding something from your past, a way of thinking, a way of being, whatever, and you're realigning, you're retuning to it. And you're doing it because your values are changing. What was important to you was something that someone else told you. Two of Pentacles says that's what you're doing. You're re-evaluating. You're juggling. Okay? You're adapting. You're saying, wait a minute, I followed these sets of rules blindly. Never questioned, never asked, just assumed that they were always. And that's one of the interesting things about studying history. And I don't know as a youngster that I was that fond of studying history. I'm much more interested in history now as an older person because I understand the meaning that if we don't understand our history, we keep making the same mistakes over and over. Because human nature is fairly constant, so we're going to screw up the same way every time. And every time it happens, we react like, oh, wow, this is the first time No, this has been going on and on and on and on and on. Governments fall apart. Nations crumble. For the same reasons every single time. Nothing changes. It's like those grade B movie westerns from the 30s. You got the bad guy controlling everybody, and the one good guy comes in and defeats him. And it's kind of funny, too, because as I have watched these, I kind of enjoy doing. They're very simple. They're kind of like a meditation for me in a goofy way. And you see in these movies from the 30s, these cowboy movies from the 30s, they're dealing with a bad guy. They know it's a bad guy, but they never put him down. Never put him in jail, never kill him, shoot him, whatever. They don't do any of that stuff. And so that character comes back later in the movie, and they're going to have a showdown anyway. Well, that's the situation here that we're learning, I think, in our lives a little bit. That we don't change, and that if we don't deal with situations in a sensible, reasonable way, we're going to have to deal with it again and again. So history, yes, repeats. That's the never-ending cycle. What you're doing is the cosmic recycle for you, finding what works, knowing why it works, and then tuning into it. And the star energy, top row, left, that's the healing. That's the healing. That's the salve. Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled. That's all ego. The star, that energy, that healing energy, is allowing you to cosmic recycle. Otherwise, you just repeat the cycle. But because you can sense a healing in this energy, this recycling, this cosmic recycling, because you can sense a healing, you're open to it. And that means, Eight of Cups, you're going to have to walk away from a lot of things and a lot of people because your values have changed, right? The Two of Pentacles, bottom row, it's changed. You become the Hierophant for yourself. You have decided how you're going to live your life, by what rules. Not what somebody tells you, but what works for you. And I don't mean in a selfish sense. I mean in a self-valuing sense. No narcissism here at all. Next card over is the King of Wands. Kings always make proclamations. The King of Wands says, you will plug into your life. You will enjoy your life. You will seek to make your life have more meaning. And that's what this is all about, the cosmic recycle. That's what this is all about, going back to the past, to a person, a place, a thing, whatever, a feeling that made you feel like you were alive, made you feel more valuable, worthwhile. That's what the King of Wands energy is bringing to you. And the last two cards up top really emphasize the fact that you are ready. You are open-minded. That's why you are cosmic recycling, not simply in a never-ending story, a repetition. Wash and rinse, repeat, wash and rinse, repeat, wash and rinse, repeat. You're not doing that. Knight of Swords. Knights always bring gifts. Swords are thoughts or ideas. So what the Knight is doing is bringing you an attitude of intelligence, of incisiveness. There's no wishy-washy here. You realize now, I can't simply put a Band-Aid on a cancer. Can't do it. Got to cut it out. Got to fix it. And what I fix, I have to use my mind for. And in fact, to emphasize that, here's the King of Swords. Middle card up top, vice versa card facing forward. You are in the mood to change your thinking about something. I hope it's being conscious in your life, because if not, the never-ending story scenario goes on. The cosmic recycling doesn't happen. But if you are conscious, if you are thoughtful, if you kind of dig a little bit, go back, find out what you want to bring back from the past into the future so you can have something to recycle, to repurpose, to reuse, you have to be conscious. And the last two cards here, the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords, says you are ready. And, here we are in March. We got Pluto going into another sign. We got Saturn going into another sign. We got the equinox. We got, a full moon coming up. We got a whole bunch of things. And then, of course, more coming up after into April and into May. This is a very powerful time. And I think you are going to have the opportunity to see and then make a decision. Do I change my thinking? Do I recycle some part of my life that I've forgotten about? Something that will plug me back in. If you do that, you get your life back and better. If you don't, simply is the never-ending story. And you passed up an opportunity. So there you go. There's the reading for today. Cosmic recycling. Keep that in mind. Back tomorrow with another tarot manifesting reading. Do it every day, 365. Hope you're here. If not, between now and the next time you and I have a chance to do tarot together, peace and blessings.